big new name has popped up in the vice presidency for a Trump pick. I like this guy. I didn't see it coming. Okay, so this is new just as of the news this morning. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where all the happy patriots are. I care a lot about the vice president because this is who Trump thinks will be your next president. This is Trump's big vote. Doesn't mean it will happen. It means it's who he thinks will work. I'm just going to show you. Here's 3 headlines. Fox News, Rubio says being Trump running mate would be an incredible honor. Here's Yahoo. One vice president possibility is gaining traction with Donald Trump, NBC reports. And that, by the way, that's the article we're going to read. It's Marco Rubio. Next one, NBC News. Marco Rubio says it would be an honor to be offered a spot as Trump's VP. I voted for Marco Rubio in 2016 in the primary, and then Trump ended up winning, of course. But Marco Rubio, that's a name that I did not see coming today in my news, but here it is. So we're going to read a little bit of this article, and then we're going to get to another vice president pick, so don't go anywhere. Hold on. One vice president possibility is gaining traction with Donald Trump. NBC reports. This is from the Huffington Post. Okay, these are liberal rags. It could be wishful thinking. Donald Trump is warming to the idea of Senator Marco Rubio, Republican of Florida, being his running mate, according to NBC News. The network reported Wednesday that Rubio is moving up the list of candidates to be Trump's vice presidential pick, citing 6 sources familiar with the search. Rubio, 52, a young, intelligent, could influence Latino voters as the son of Cuban immigrants and would be the first minority to appear on a GOP presidential ticket, NBC noted. I think there's incredible strength with Marco Rubio, and I don't think he's a stock raving lunatic like many of the names you see floating around of people who've never done anything in leadership whatsoever. Marco Rubio is a very talented statesman. He also has a record of Trump allegiance. Rubio recently endorsed the idea of the Republican National Committee helping Trump pay his mounting legal bills. That's another reason why Trump likes Marco Rubio. The senator also downplayed Trump's incendiary remark that he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want to another NATO country. Marco Rubio goes, hey. But I do think Trump's going to be aiming for more of a statesman with his vice president. I think he's looking for someone who is still MAGA, someone who's still a Republican, but not just an absolute George Soros funded child. And we'll see with Trump. Remember, Trump knows these people inside and out. He knows what Vivek Ramaswamy is made of. Trump will pick him if he thinks he'd be the best president for 2028. Or Trump will pick Marco Rubio if you think he's the best president. Or, according to this article at Newsweek, he'll pick Vice President J.D. Vance. This is an opinion piece by Josh Hammer, one of our favorite guys over at Newsweek, who's really, Hammer's not a big fan of Trump. He's a very big DeSantis fan, but I agree with him on J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is MAGA, great pick. I think he'd be a great vice president. I think Trump's been having him at all the right rallies at the right time. I think he's a solid guy. Let's read this article over at Newsweek. Donald Trump has locked up the necessary delegates for the Republican presidential nomination, which means it's time for every political junkie's favorite quadrennial game, Veep stakes. Who wins the Veep? Every 4 years, commentators, political consultants, and elected officials all chime in with their takes on who a presidential candidate's running mate should be. Perhaps the candidate ought to select a Veep from a swing state. Perhaps the candidate ought to select someone who fits a certain demographic, check the box, black, female, whatever. Maybe the candidate ought to pick someone who with a very similar political philosophy, or perhaps someone whose ideological bona fides assuage any lingering concerns that party loyalists might harbor about the man at the top of the ticket. Or maybe it's really as easy as picking someone who the presidential nominee simply likes and vibes with on a personal level. So those are all the different criteria you'll hear people say. Go, no, Trump needs to get female voters. We have to get Nikki Haley, or we have to get Elise Stefanik, or we have to get Carrie Lake or Marjorie Taylor Greene. No, we need MAGA people. So we need the young vote. We need Vivek Ramaswamy. We need the young face. All of that is why Trump should select as his running mate the precious freshman U.S. Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance. This is about getting the youth vote back in. And J.D. Vance is fantastic. I'm for either of these guys. I love J.D. Vance and I love Marco Rubio. I think Marco Rubio is slightly more going for him than J.D. Vance, but I think J.D. Vance would be a rock solid vice president pick. What do you guys think? No picking on each other. Just pick the VP and we'll let you make your statement in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Doug in Exile.